a violent cyan electrical arc cracks in the pitch dark, sending the titanium knot into a sudden 350 Newton recoil. The device is stationary, yet it moves with the violence of a fired projectile. This experiment is running out of a substation on the Virginia Beach coast. Right now, a small team of engineers is attempting to generate thrust without the mass expulsion requirements of traditional chemical engines. Standard rocketry relies on the symmetrical expansion of burning gas. In a typical Bell nozzle, significant energy is lost as the gas expands radially, pushing against the engine walls rather than contributing to forward lift. The goal here is to replace that expansion with a magnetic gradient. By manipulating the geometry of the field, the team is attempting to produce a directional momentum kick with zero exhaust. Built around a 3D printed titanium mandrel, wrapped in Rebco superconducting coils, allowing high current, zero resistance operation. The working fluid is contained in a clear acrylic tube. It holds 500 milliliters of GalliStan, a dense metallic alloy of gallium, indium, and tin that remains liquid at room temperature. A bank of high-voltage ultracapacitors provides the power, capable of dumping 50 megajoules into the circuit in a single microsecond transient. Managing this discharge requires an exact electrical trigger. If the energy is released without critical damping, the circuit's inductance will cause the current to oscillate and destroy the rig. 1 second before the firing sequence, the superconducting coils engage. They flood the titanium frame with a steady 5 Tesla magnetic field. Because superconducting coils have a high inductance, they are slow to pulse. To avoid the time lag of the coils, the magnetic field is held at a steady DC state, while the electric field is pulsed separately. The field follows a T32 trefoil knot, wrapping around the major radius 3 times longitudinally and twice meridionally. This pattern is chiral, possessing mathematical handedness. A left-handed trefoil and its right-handed mirror image can never be aligned through 3D rotation. This asymmetrical cage is the foundation of the experiment. By breaking mirror symmetry in the magnetic field, the engineers create the conditions necessary for a biased momentum shift. At T+0, the optical gate driver fires. The solid-state switches close in under 2 microseconds. At T+20 microseconds, the high-voltage relay closes, and the current violently spikes across the liquid metal, reaching 75,000 amps. This current interacts with the steady magnetic field to produce an intense Lorentz force, shoving the liquid metal forward. The massive magnetic pressure suppresses turbulence, forcing the GalliStan to move as a unified, solid electromagnetic brick. By 80 microseconds, the fluid is no longer behaving like a liquid. It is being violently squeezed into the asymmetrical pinch points of the trefoil geometry. At 100 microseconds, the current reaches its peak. The fluid is driven to the absolute edge of magnetic confinement, crossing a critical helicity threshold. The kinetic inertia of the heavy GalliStan forces it to cross the magnetic field lines. We can map this instability by looking at the Biot-Savart vector plot. The magnetic pressure gradients bunch up at the knot's pinch points, creating a heat map of topological stress. Nature refuses to conserve this unbalanced twist. To resolve the tension, the magnetic lines violently snap and reconnect, releasing the stored energy of the knot. Because the cage is chiral, this energy release is strictly biased. It squirts out in a single direction, like a twisted towel being wrung dry. This creates a burst of Alfvén waves that travel back up the field lines, delivering a directional momentum transfer directly into the titanium chassis. On the benchtop, this registers as hundreds of newtons of reactionary thrust. The entire suspended rig jerks backward on its mount. The machine generates this force by coupling the fluid's kinetic inertia to the field lines, allowing it to push against the momentum stored in the magnetic gradient. The team funded the experiment by telling HR they were purchasing supercapacitors for a staff wellness ice cream social. It's a reminder that significant engineering breakthroughs often require a willingness to ignore the rules of the office as well as the rules of the road.